Elena Moretti stood on the corner of West 45th Street, coffee in one hand, laptop bag slung over her shoulder, watching the early morning chaos of Manhattan. The streets buzzed with impatient taxis, the scent of roasted nuts, and the chatter of people who'd long given up on sleep. It was 6:43 a.m., and she was already late for her 7 a.m. pitch. She'd moved to New York 5 years ago with 2 suitcases and a dream so sharp it cut through the noise. Working her way from intern to associate VP at a rising marketing agency, Elena's entire identity had been sculpted by ambition. Her parents, Italian immigrants in Chicago who'd spent 3 decades running a corner deli, had begged her not to forget her roots. "I'll come back when I'm someone," she'd promised. And she was close. One more promotion, and she'd be the youngest VP in the agency's history. But lately, the nights were long and silent, and her apartment felt like a hotel room. Her phone rang only for meetings, and the man she used to share her dreams with had become a memory in voicemail. Jake Reynolds had always been the calm to Elena's fire. A high school English teacher in Chicago, he loved poetry, vinyl records, and cooking on Sundays. They'd met at Northwestern, fallen fast and hard, and spent 5 years building a long-distance relationship that somehow survived late nights, missed calls, and differing dreams. He never complained when she moved to New York. "I get it," he'd said once, brushing her hair from her face. "You were born to fly. I'll be here when you land." For a while, she'd believed him. They'd meet once a month. Long weekends filled with sex, food, and laughter. But as her hours grew longer, their time grew shorter. She stopped visiting as often. Calls turned into texts, then silence. Still, Jake waited. Until one night, months after their last conversation, he saw a photo on LinkedIn. Elena, in a red dress, arm in arm with her boss, Daniel Whitmore, on a red carpet at a tech gala. The caption read, "Celebrating innovation with our fearless leader." Jake zoomed in. The way Daniel held her waist, the way her eyes sparkled. It told a story Jake hadn't been invited to hear. Daniel Whitmore was everything Elena had been taught to want. Suave, intelligent, and ruthless in the boardroom. He noticed her not just for her work, but for her fire. He called her, "the only person who's not afraid to argue with me." It started with late meetings, then dinners, then whispered jokes only they understood. One night, after a product launch, he walked her home and kissed her just once. She didn't stop him. The affair that followed wasn't passionate, it was powerful. Elena told herself it was strategic, a stepping stone. She didn't love Daniel. She loved what he represented. But guilt crept in like rot. Jake's calls, when he made them, went unanswered. Her mother's birthday passed without a message. And the mirror started showing someone she didn't recognize. Then Daniel offered her the VP role. "You've earned it, but let's be discreet about us." It wasn't the promotion that made her pause, it was the price. Elena returned to Chicago for the first time in 2 years. It was late November, snow falling in lazy flakes, her breath misting in the cold. Jake met her at the airport, hands in pockets, eyes unreadable. "I wasn't sure you'd come," he said. "I had to." They didn't talk much in the car. Her old neighborhood looked smaller, her childhood home untouched. Her mother made lasagna. Her father grunted a hello but said little else. Later, as they stood outside Jake's apartment, Elena spoke. "I got the promotion." He smiled faintly. "That's great. There's more." She looked down. "I was with someone. My boss. It's over. But it happened." Jake's face didn't flinch. Only his shoulders sagged. He said nothing for a long time. "I waited," he finally said. "Every day, I thought you'd come back. I thought I was doing it for us," she whispered. "No," he said. "You did it for you, and that's okay. But don't pretend it wasn't." He turned to go inside. She didn't follow. Winter settled deep. Elena moved out of her luxury apartment. She declined the VP offer. She told Daniel the truth and he fired her. For the first time in years, she was still. She worked part-time at a nonprofit helping immigrant families. She volunteered at a poetry workshop for teens. She called her mother weekly, and slowly she started writing again. Letters she never sent, poems she'd tucked away for years. In the spring, she returned to Chicago, not to win Jake back, but to see if anything remained. She found him at the school gym coaching debate. "I'm not here to fix us," she said. "I just wanted you to know.
I'm sorry.
And I'm finally proud of who I am. Not the title. Just me." Jake looked at her for a long moment. "Come to dinner?" She smiled. They never went back to what they were. They built something new. It was slower, softer, real. And in a small apartment in Chicago, on a Sunday morning filled with jazz and coffee, Elena read Jake a poem she wrote. "Love isn't found in hours we share. It's born in the ones we lose and still return."